What's up, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we highlight the latest in cybersecurity news and information, vulnerabilities, and things of that nature, as well as we highlight people of color who have broken to the other side of the proverbial firewall into C-suite and senior level positions. My name is Ryan Williams, and today, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up?
Yeah. So this is my favorite part of the week where we do the weekly recap. So it's got a little bit of cyber in it, but most of it is just, what we've been doing. How do we, consume our media? Are we studying for something? Hint, hint. And, what shows and things of that we've been watching. With that being said, how's everybody's week?
My week's been pretty good. I've been staying busy at work. I feel like I work too much. It's like nonstop, always something going on. But besides that, I've been enjoying some quality time with the wife. She actually just had surgery on her left shoulder. No, left shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Right shoulder. On her right shoulder, actually. And
make sure you get that right when you're talking to her. Like, it's fine.
Right.
To know talking to
That's
us.
right. That's right. What shoulder is it? She got this big ass sling on it. I'm like, what shoulder was it?
She's doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing good though. She's
Good.
recovering. She's recuperating. And she's I'm helping her out, doing some of the small things, even getting making her a sandwich, things like that. She's not having much use in that arm yet, but helping her out with that. We watched some shows. We've been watching Invincible together. I know you guys been enjoying that as well. Watched the latest episode last night, as well as we watched the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well. Watched that a little bit, and we're playing some games. I like my gaming. I got some. I'm still playing that Yakuza 0. Making some headway in that game a little bit. It's pretty legit. They have some. I see why people like the game. It's got like a pretty legit story so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it concludes. But how about you guys? You guys been playing some stuff lately, or watching some shows?
So I've been watching shows. I still haven't played any games. Yes, I have been studying. So I changed it up a little bit this week.
There it is.
I actually I started reading the 11th Hour. So not that I'm done with the studying or anything like that, but I needed a change. And the 11th Hour is cool. I did like it. I realize it's not an end all be all, right? It's only like 200 pages or whatever it is, but it looks like it hits on some main points that it's like, it doesn't tap its foot or anything to say I'm stressing this, but it looks like, okay, this is something I'm stressing. And then it gives you 5 toughest questions or whatever it is from the section or whatever. But yeah, that I like that. And it's a change of pace, right? So it'll probably be one of those things where I'll read through all of that and then get back into the studying again. And then I'll probably read it more than twice. I'll probably go through a section and then, read 11th Hour some more. Cause again, 200 pages you can get to kind of fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I have been studying. I did watch Invincible. I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I did watch Warrior too, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm probably gonna be in the minority here, but on all 3 of those, it's starting to go down a little bit for me. I don't know. Maybe
you're so hard to please.
That might be it. Maybe I need fighting all the time. Like I need it to be like Dragon Ball. I just need like all the whole episode. You know what I mean? I need somebody's power. I need somebody's power to be over 9,000. Like
right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, because it got to a point like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, like right off the bat they jump into a battle, right? And I'm like, okay, this about to be on now, right? And then it just kind of slows down for me, and I'm like, okay, Invincible. It got to a point where I was like, are we gonna have any fight? Because Invincible is all about fighting, you know what I mean? And it got to a point where I was like, are they gonna have any fights? And then they had to fight, and I just kind of, I'm like, I want to get to that ending sooner. And I'm like, let me know if I'm right on what I think, right? Like, because I have a theory out there. I'm like, let me know.
Oh, right.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Warrior was another one. I started watching Warrior. I think I'm on episode 6 of Warrior, and it seems like it's less fighting. You know what I mean? And I'm like, come on, man, go start whooping up on some more people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That might be what it is that I'm expecting. Action.
Right. So what's like your top show that you've seen, like, from beginning to end was like, man, this is a banger right here. I can't turn away.
Like a series?
Yeah, maybe a series or maybe a movie even. Something that you're like, dang, that was just like,
I don't know. I don't know. I think as I got older, I mean, I like comedy more so, to be honest with you. Like I like
yeah,
fighting. Like if I'm gonna watch, I will watch a series that has fighting and violence in it and whatnot, but I need to see a lot of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like don't give me big breaks in between. You know what I mean? Like I want to see a lot of it. Like I was reading an
right.
article not too long ago. I can't remember the name of the movie, but there's a movie coming out where they do a single shot fight scene for like
Mm,
almost all of the movie. I can't remember the name of it, but
it's on box,
Those are my
maybe.
favorite. Yeah, those are my favorite.
yeah, but like I'm like, okay, I gotta check that out. I gotta go find out again what it is. But yeah, it's like it's forever in this movie that they are just doing a single take fight scene. This dude is just
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
think that
like,
wasn't that on Bach, like the Thai
so not
movie.
on not on Bach. This one is coming
Oh,
out. I've seen
oh, it's
on
coming
Bach.
out. Oh,
I liked on Bach. Yeah,
yeah,
on Bach.
on
But
Bach. Yeah, that was a good movie for sure.
but
On
but
Bach.
no, it's one that's coming out. And even the guy that's the main character in it, I recognized him from some other movies like that, but I can't remember what he's a samurai in this one. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculously long single take.
damn.
That he because in the article I was reading, they referenced you ever seen Extraction with Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
So they got like a 7-minute long single take where they're fighting, and I think it's the one where he's going against the guy that's the security guard for the kid. Works
The
for his
first
dad.
fight in
Yeah,
the street.
I think
Yeah,
that's the one where it
the
is.
through
Yeah,
yeah, they're running through the building. Yeah, so
yeah, yeah.
one take. Yeah,
One take. It's like 7 minutes, and like that scene, I remembered it. I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. You know what I mean? But that's only 7 minutes. Like this one is gonna be. I want to say it was like close to an hour or something. I was like, I
Damn.
would love to see that. Yeah. The
That's
guy's a
that.
samurai. I gotta find it again what it was, but it was a few weeks back, a couple weeks or a few weeks back. I read up
yeah,
on it.
I was gonna say the raid, because the raid had a really long scene too. Best old movie. Like remember the
Oh no,
raid
no,
where he's fighting his way through through the building.
is that the apartment
That was
building?
the apartment building. Yeah, like so that had a really long. It wasn't. I don't think it was 7 minutes, but it was like very long.
Yeah,
Um, like that's one of my favorite fight scenes because it just kept going and going and going.
yeah,
Or Children of
Right.
Men. Like Children of Men has that war scene. Like remember
yeah.
the where he's trying to get her through the hotel and out of the or through the apartment building and out of the apartment building. That's all one take.
Mhm.
And just as they go through the corridors, people getting shot, blowing up, and flipping over. Like all that happened at one time.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
I don't know. Yeah,
That was my favorite.
That's just what I need. I don't know. I can't think of a series that's like my favorite series that I've seen, because like I seem to be giving up on a lot of them lately, and maybe because I'm a crotchety old man now. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see that.
I need action.
Yeah.
Where's the
Don't you
action?
don't develop characters, just punch them in
Right.
the face.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
I don't need to hear him talk.
But that's the thing, though. So we already talked about this. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know who Sam is. I know who Bucky is. We need to stop doing this. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
You
mean?
know,
Like,
the family don't know the the
I don't
conflict they have right now, why they don't, why he doesn't like, such and such. And
that's not what Disney Plus is for me. That may be good for my children, when they're out there watching Coco Melon and other stuff on Disney Plus or whatever it may be. I don't know if
Right.
that's Disney Plus or not.
Coco Melon. I don't know that.
Whatever it may be, you know what I mean? But nah, I'm not for that, man. Like, all right, I know who these two dudes are. You've established that since 2013. When did Winter Soldier come out? You know what I mean? Whenever that
been a
was.
minute.
That's because when they both showed up was it Winter Soldier?
I
They
think it was
both
in Winter
showed up
Soldier.
because Sam was there too, I think. Yeah, but neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. It was however long ago that was, 2015 maybe. I don't know. So for 6
It's like
years,
2014. You're close. 2014. Yeah.
So for 6 years now, I know who these guys are. I don't care about the family. I don't care about any of that. I need you to put some wings on. I need you to use your vibranium arm. Like I need it to go down.
Right.
That's right.
No, I hear that. But yeah, I do hear what you're saying. Like the Invincible episode was a little bit slower, but they're developing the characters. So they're like, hey, we need to get deeper into these characters and whatnot, deeper into the mystery that we won't spoil here. But I'm starting to change my mind. I'm starting to think that there might be some good intent in what happened. I don't know. He's not feeling evil enough to me. Like it feels like they're trying to get me to
really
second
hate him.
guess motivation.
Those are the best ones. Those are the best villains.
That's
It
what I was
could
telling
be.
you.
I don't know.
Hey, so let
Yeah.
me ask you this. So let me ask you this. What type of phone was he using? Let's ask that question. 'Cause
Yeah, there it
the whole
is. I
theory
don't
about
know. I
if
don't
it's an
know.
Apple phone, if it's a, if
Yeah.
it's a
I don't know if
Samsung phone.
LeVon knows that one. Do you know the Apple theory?
No, I don't know about
So
that.
way back when they shot, I want to say 24, they didn't really talk about it, but whenever they displayed an Apple product, and this might be a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen 24. I'm sorry, I didn't watch it either. But now I know if you look at the characters, and most of the good, like all the good guys have Apple products. Either they're using an iMac or they're using an iPhone. Uh, Anybody else using anything else? Like the person had like a Gateway back when Gateway was making computers and stuff like that. Like for real, churning out computers. Everybody on the team had Apple products except for one member. And then as you get through the series and you finally get to the finale, you find out he's a double agent. No one picked up on that, but that was a rule of Apple marketing. Only good guys can use Apple products. So like the latest one, I was telling Shannon, like, I don't know if you peeped it or not, but in the Godzilla joint, there's an Apple product being used, and it's being used by a good guy. Like bad people can't use Apple products. At least they couldn't back then. And now it seems that that's still a trend, still happening. Like you can put our product in the TV show or the movie, but it can't be used by somebody who's going to be a bad guy.
Interesting. I didn't know about that one at all. I never heard of that. That's pretty.
But it spoils things. Like, cause
Yeah.
if you see it, you'll be like, oh,
Right.
why does he have an Android?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, what type of phone is he using? Like, we'll know for sure what it is, right?
Yeah. That's crazy though. It's like, I don't know. You think the company just wants like advertising no matter where it's at. It doesn't matter like if it's Thanos has an iPhone. All of a sudden he's walking around like,
No, you can have one.
I'm snapping this real quick.
Yeah,
Hello,
he can have an
mom, you there?
Speaking of Thanos, real quick, it's not a deep thought at all, but it's just one day I sat there and I was doing something else and I thought about it. Because people were saying, well, he wasn't a villain, like he was, literally helping out by doing what he was doing, and he was impartial, right? He didn't do it because he didn't pick a certain species or race or whatever. He just halved everything. But I sat there and I thought about it. Why didn't he double everything? he had options. He had the gauntlet. I don't want more people. I want them to have abundance.
Right.
He could have did
double
that.
the food.
That's why he's a bad guy. He could have made the right choice.
I don't know. Look. Thanos to me is the hero of the Avengers. That's what I call him. Thanos is the hero.
He could have said, "Give us twice everything. Like make it where people have abundance." But no, he decided to go with violence. I want half of everything gone.
Right.
Hey, that's what makes for a good villain, though, right? So
yeah,
to let the studios tell it, or the comic, you know what I mean? But again, he's courting death too, right? So like he's kind of sadistic in that aspect, right? Like I want to have a relationship with death. So, but
right.
I don't know. I've told a couple people that, and they're like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you talking about Thanos, the hero of the Avengers, right?"
Yeah,
it's wrong how they did him. That's what I tell people. They're like, "What? You crazy?"
He could have snapped himself out of existence.
It could have, but that's the thing.
He could have snapped himself out.
Indiscriminate. He just said half, so he could have been in that half. His daughters could have been in that half. People work for him in that half.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
it's true.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He could have said twice the food. Snap.
But then people are gonna be like, people are gonna be like extra greedy and extra
be extra wasteful.
Wasteful, yeah, exactly. They were like, I'm gonna take all this food here. Oh, I don't really need all that, whatever. And people are gonna populate, and it's gonna be that's gonna be like twice as many people as before because
they'll just grow surplus. with the surplus. Maybe
right.
Maybe he thought of that.
People like, was like, have more babies. We got plenty of food here, so we might as well have more babies, and we got all these houses and stuff. I don't know, empty houses sitting around, whatever.
That could have been his first thought. Could have been. He could have been like, I want to double everything. And then as he kept going towards it, he was like, you know what? Nah.
Like, nah, that's not gonna work. It's gotta half it. I gotta half it.
Well, but at that point, right? Like, so it's easier to waste the extra food that you have, right? Like that's very easy. It'll be harder to get to that population level again, right? It'll take you centuries to get to that population level again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That is the quicker way to make sure the resources last, because you can still plant the resources with half the people and then they become abundant again. But yeah,
maybe
that's why.
I
Am
don't
I
know.
am I a villain? Am I a villain? How
Right?
Could be, could be. But you are studying now, so
That's right.
But so I started getting in. Like I actually downloaded the VM software, installed the little lab and whatnot, which they don't give really good instructions. I had to really think on how does this work. If it turns out that I don't
It's a
have it out
test.
here right now, but yeah, to just load the environment. The dongle they gave me, because I was like, I can't get in here to get to this stuff. It's a key. So they gave me a key to get to things. They didn't give me the things.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm doing something wrong. I know how USB works, but I cracked the code. That's step number one. Now I get to study. So aside from that, though, I haven't really been getting it in like I wanted to on the media. Like I did watch Invincible. I thought the episode was okay. Like I like how they're developing characters. I like Shannon.
Yeah.
So I can see that going somewhere. I did not watch The Warrior, even though it's on my list now. I did add it to my list. So I did take the next step. So I hope to watch that tonight or tomorrow morning. Watch a couple episodes. And then I downloaded the Resident Evil 8 demo for PS4 and learned that I couldn't play it. Like it's like locked for, you can only play it like every so often, like
okay.
Till the full
5
demo
minutes.
comes out. Well, no, I can't get in it. It says you can't play the demo for 8 hours. So in 6 hours I'll be able to play it, but I'll be asleep. So
damn. Yeah.
Hopefully it just keeps rotating like that. Like hopefully it's not just these block of time. Like maybe it's just a rotating time. I don't know. I can't call it yet. I'll let you guys know if I ever get in there. But because of that, I started playing Resident Evil 7 that I already had. I just never played it. And that so far that's cool, except for I'm finding that it makes me motion sick because it's first person, and usually I'm fine with first person, but I had to cut off. It's called wobble. So as your character is walking, it has the natural wobble in his vision, and my brain doesn't like that. Apparently, I never knew. Like, I never done anything in VR, but I assume I'll have the same issue in VR if that's an option. Because as my man is walking, because he walks pretty slow, as he's walking left or right, I'm just like, I feel queasy. And I looked through the options, and it wobble was an option. I cut it off, and I like reset my brain.
If it's first person, that means that's how you walk, right? So like, are you getting?
Yeah, but my brain is like, you're not moving. Why is your vision wobbling? Like I don't get it. Like you're getting seasick as this dude, naturally walks side to side. Apparently that's the thing. I didn't know. Maybe because I'm getting older. Like it affects me. I don't know. But I started doing that, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm doing the Ask Us SP stuff. I got to record one a day or tomorrow because I'm tired. And that's what I wanted to bring up. So I joined on Clubhouse. I joined the Black Cybersecurity Association, the BCA. And I joined and I did a couple of their talks where basically it's similar to what I'm trying to do with Ask Us SP, where people were trying to break into cybersecurity. They basically get to ask the panel of people who are either in C-suite or they have their CISP or their doctorate or whatever. How do I get in? How do I pivot? So a lot of people wanting to get into cybersecurity because it's like the hot topic, but they don't know. Like one guy, he was just basically like, "Hey, I'm pursuing my bachelor's in cybersecurity. I'm going to start prepping for the CISP." And then it was like one dude jumped. He was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! Like, don't do that. Like, that's not what that's for. Like, do this. Like, because you do want to get certified in something. Like, maybe you start in your Sec Plus, work your way through that, so you understand what security is, and the general sense of it." He was like, "If you stay for CISP, you're just going to fail. Plus, you don't have enough time." Like you said that you're still only 3 or 4 years into your study, so you don't have 5 years of experience. So it's stuff like that. I think it's cool. It gives people a realistic expectation of what you can do and how to get there. So if you're not a member and you're listening to this, maybe you want to join it. They're everywhere. Like I said, Clubhouse, GroupMe, Twitter. I think I joined their LinkedIn. Like they're all over the place. So if you want to break into cyber, hit them up.
Nice. Okay. Good call out.
Yeah, for sure.
And they let me on stage. They're like, yeah, we'll trust this guy. He come on stage.
Yeah.
But obviously
Come
my
on.
experience is different. Obviously my experience is different, right? Like, because a lot of them were talking about mitigating college debt and things of that nature. Like all my stuff is paid for because of the military. Like I don't have any debt. I never paid for a certification. And I probably have odd amount of experience as a young airman than I should have had. Like they let me touch a little bit too much of the network. So
Right.
So when you got on stage, like, did your music come up? Was it the Dilated Peoples? Was you like loud?
I wish. Actually, I was intimidated. Like I got the education and the cert cloud and experience, but it's not like all these people were civilians. So they've been doing it out there in the quote unquote real world. So I'm like, I can speak to a lot, but I can't speak to getting your resume on somebody's desk because I have not done that myself. So
yeah, but you're another avenue that's a little bit different, right? So like,
yeah,
it's not that everything you've done in DoD doesn't totally translate either, though, right? Like there will be some things that are totally different, but
right.
Don't automatically assume that because you did it in DoD or for the military that it's just not going to translate. That won't be the
right. Right. Yeah, I get that. But I also have to have a good translator for my resume. So
yeah,
like I think it looks good, but I'm gonna have like 9 different people look at it. I'm trying to get a job.
There's a place that'll do it for you for free. Hired Heroes. I think it's Hire Heroes or Hired Heroes. Like what they'll do is if you send them like your EPRs, like they'll write a resume based off that. You know what I mean? Like cross out all your vital information and everything, right? Because your EPRs have everything on it. But like cross out your vital information and send that to them. They'll like kind of translate a resume for you for the civilian sector. I know a guy that got hired on. Coming right
okay,
out.
that's what's up. Because I did something similar with Vets to PM. They did it for me for when I went through the PMP boot camp and got my PMP. But TAPS, they'll do it there in TAPS too, like family readiness. So I'll go through your VMAT and try to make things match up.
Yeah,
that's good.
So we'll see. I'll be there in 23 months. So I'll let you know how that
goes. It's coming up though.
Yeah.
Right. It'll be here before you know it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like be ready for that job for the workplace.
Yeah. So that's what I did for the week. I did mostly just talking to people. So I enjoy it though. Like it's fun. Like that might be something I consider doing when I get out too. Because people have some really good questions. You're like, I never thought about that. Like, have you tried this avenue? Have you tried that avenue? Because there's a lot of people coming from like I talked to a person who did medical before they want to go cybersecurity, or one was into massage therapy, and people are making some huge pivots. So I'm like, man, I hope they don't take all the jobs before I get out there. Y'all coming in force.
Right. I think the IT industry is like it's pretty obviously it's pretty popular. It's a lot of demand right now for qualified IT individuals, and I don't think it's going to really go away anytime soon. People are staying needing IT guys and gals to like take care of this stuff. And it's like everything's becoming more modern. It's like digital age. Everything's going electronic. Nobody's using like pen and paper anymore. Everything's got to be on a keyboard. But yeah, man, I know you'd be just fine too. You got the initiative and you got the experience to carry yourself forward to like a good position somewhere once you start looking.
Right. No, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like it makes you feel more confident to talk to them too. Be able to answer people's questions. You're like, yeah, I do know something. All right, that's what's up.
Right.
They had a really good one. It was certs versus. They called it a debate. It really wasn't though, but it was certs versus degrees. I thought that one was really good too. It had some really insightful. They had some hiring agents in there talking about like what they look for. Like obviously experience, right? And then certifications showcase that experience. But there was more than I thought of people who were like, yeah, we want degrees for management positions. They're like, you can either grow within the company, but if you just want to, if you're not within the company, you just want to try to get in, like we don't know you. So we want, so we only know as much as we can see on that piece of paper, as opposed to if we grew you up in the company, we would know your work ethic, we would know, you know, your certifications and how you apply them. We would have probably hired you before we hired somebody else. We go to people outside the company when we can't grow the talent ourselves. So then the shortcut is the piece of paper.
Right.
So I was like, oh, that's good to know. But yeah, most of the panel was like, yes, experience. Period.
I'm curious on that rationale though. So the rationale of the piece of paper being the shortcut. So like, and we had this discussion, was it 2 weeks ago? We were talking about this, right?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? Yeah.
Wait, when you're bashing degrees, yeah.
I was not bashing degrees.
Remember.
I was not
I'm playing. I'm joking for people just catching up.
He's not degree. Yeah. I'm not but no,
but go back so it can confirm he was bashing degrees.
Right. I was gonna say you could see for yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I am curious on that though. So like I know because like my father works for a company where it's not IT related, but he likes to see degrees as well. And I try to explain to him, you know, from where I'm at, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm not saying it's not something that you can't learn from, because with some of these universities out there, like they were giving out not giving out, but they were offering certifications that you could take.
Right, it's part of the path. Yeah,
right. It's part of the curriculum. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing, but not always a guarantee. I'm finding out now that with every program, it's not always a guarantee that you'll do that. But yeah, I'm curious about that. So like, why? So yes, you do want experience, right? For sure, you want to see certifications, but if they're going to sit here and say that piece of paper gives you a better, it's not a, I don't want to call it a discriminator, but a separator to get your foot in the door. Like
that's exactly what they said. They said it's a separator. They said if on paper you both had the same amount of time, the same certifications, and we have not seen that talent. You know what I mean? Like the discriminator.
Okay, so all things being created equal, you're saying here.
Yes.
So everything, okay, yeah. I got you. All right. Because I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's not so much like you just have a paper and you have like no experience or whatever. You're just like, oh, you got a paper. Okay, you can come on in. Yeah, I'm sure they look at.
And you know, I can see it in that instant. I can see it in that instance. If all other things being equal, if one of them has a degree, I could see that being, you know.
Because they were talking about it like, so there were a couple CISPs in the panel and whatnot, like a lot of people with their CISM or I forget. It's it's a long acronym, but basically you know, you have ethical hacker, forensics investigator. It's the one that's like an 8-hour lab or whatever, like starts with an O. I forget what it is. I've never looked into it because it's way too technical for me and in my brain to handle. But a couple of those people, like obviously that's a different breed of person. But a lot of them were like, well, if you already have your CISP, why are you seeking out for, you know, a degree? Like your CISP is, you know, the equivalent in some people's minds of being a degree as well. I'm not going to argue that, but for me, I was like, well, my thing was I'm hesitant to not check a box. Like if I know HR has a box that I can check, I'm gonna check it. So I was like, yeah, I got my CISP before I finished my degree. However, I'm still getting that degree. Like just in case, I don't want anything to be a roadblock to get me in. So I was like, that's why I pursued both. But there was like a lady who was a doctor, cybersecurity. There's lots of lawyers actually. Like that's becoming a big thing now. People pivot from law into policy. So there are a lot of those as well. It's like you have a whole law degree, and now you're seeking cybersecurity as you try to pivot into our domain. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a big shift. That's a big shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it. I might have mentioned it during our discussion a couple of weeks ago about this topic, but yeah, with the whole like degree thing, I got motivated to get my degree because I had my associates like back in the day. I got it like back in, I don't know, 2003, 2004, something like that. And then I ended up getting my bachelor's in like 2019, which was like, you know, like 15 years later. But what motivated me was my wife, who's in the military, and she actually kind of, it's almost like a required because she's a officer, and they have to kind of continue education. It's good that they like to see that their officers get higher education even as they continue their career. So like she got her master's at that time, like before I decided to go for my bachelor's. And I was like, you know what, I might as well just go for my bachelor's. And at the time, the company was pretty much covering it. It covered the company I worked for covered the tuition, so I didn't have to pay out of pocket. So it's kind of like a little bit of a free education. So I was like, why not use this free money basically to increase my add a little bullet to my resume, so to say, and also just gain knowledge from this school program. Like we talked about before. I went to WGU, and I got my bachelor's in like cloud administration, and then I got the master's in the cybersecurity. So I was like, company's paying for it, might as well take the dive. I had some, I was able to allocate my time to do work as well as knock out the school work. And so it worked out for me. But if I didn't get motivated for my wife, as well as I didn't have like the free access to the basically free money, I may not have jumped right aboard, right away. I may not have like took the dive right to get my degrees right away, because it obviously it's a cost and it's a time, effort, and all these kind of things. But I think I'm glad I did, and I think it sets me up for the future as well. In just in case, like you said, if you're applying for a job and they got a group of individuals to choose from, and one person has a degree and one person does not, but they have like equal pretty much everything else, then most likely you can go for the guy, the person with the degree, and it's also during the interview itself, as long as they interview well, I'm sure that they'll take that into consideration. So
right, yeah, and again, like the panel that I was on that day, almost unanimously, it's about that experience. Like,
yeah,
because there's some people like there was a person who was having issues finding a job with they had their bachelor's in cybersecurity but no certifications. And they're like, well, that's your problem, right?
right.
Like, yeah, you can have a degree in it, but you have no experience. So you may have to take a tier 1 or 2 or whatever to gain that experience, get your certifications. And they all pointed towards Sec Plus being the gateway. I know we have it because it's we've all worked for Department of Defense, so it's mandatory. You got to have that 8570 or whatever the number is going to change to in the near future,
right?
Just to touch the network. But it's not like that on the outside, right? So you're like, yeah. So they another free plug for them. They're a nonprofit, but they actually have study groups and courses to get people to be able to get through their Security Plus. Because
Nice.
they hammer that home, like they really believe that's your gateway, and that lets you know if this is for you. Like, because I took Sec Plus back in 2010, I want to say, it was not like the current version. Like, current version is will beat the hell out of you compared to the 2010 version I took, which I'm about to let lapse. I'm like, I don't know if I should re-up that one or not.
Oh man,
but
yeah, you got it.
We'll see.
Might as well. I mean, if especially if you're, I think getting a master's degree in cybersecurity actually covers like the CEUs, the continuing education units.
Yeah, I have the CEUs. I just don't know if I want to spend the money.
Oh, that's right. That's cost. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now my employer is paying for the highest cert, so they're renewing my CISP, which I'm appreciative of. But they're like, well, we're not gonna renew your Sec Plus 2. That's on you if you want to keep it.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a dilemma there.
But you can use the same CEUs, right? Because with CISP, your CEUs is 75 hours, but it's 50 for Sec Plus, right? So like you could use the same ones you used for CISP, right? Or no?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but it's all the money, really.
I'm being cheap.
The money right now.
It's like, I think it's like 100, 150. Is that what it is?
I think you're right. Yeah, because like $50 each year or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
3 years.
I'm just being cheap.
Yeah.
No, I got you. I understand.
Yeah, that's a little dilemma, because I mean, like you said, you already have the higher level certification. I mean, to me, like, it'd be nice if you can keep it, but like me personally, I would like to just keep all my certifications if I can. But at the same time, I'm not really willing to pay. Like, I think even some of the stuff I got from WGU, I may not like renew them. Like, I got some like Linux certifications that I think are going to lapse in a couple years. And
because you got your bachelor's through them as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mainly through my bachelor. Yeah. Bachelor program. They had a bunch of like Linux courses, and they had even Project Plus, which doesn't expire, I don't think. Project Plus and some other ones. I can't think of right now, but like some of the Linux stuff. I have the Linux Plus with CompTIA that doesn't expire, but then I have like a Linux certification from some Linux organization. I forgot the name.
LPIC or whatever.
I think it's the LPIC.
Yeah.
And I think that one costs some money. I'm like, I don't know if I need two Linux certifications. I just like hold on to the one and be like, yeah, I know some Linux, that kind of thing. But
Right.
but yeah, I understand the dilemma. I'm not sure if I would spend the money on if I didn't really need it, if I already had a higher level like CISP.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
I'm
sure if
already
it's
gonna be
worth
paying
it.
for like they'll be paying for my CSP until I retire, but I still I have to renew my own PMP. I have to renew if I wanted to keep it Tech Plus, and that would keep my Net Plus. But we had to get CEH for our masters. If I get my CHFI finally, like whenever I decide to sit down and study for that, I'll have to pay for that. So it gets kind of pricey.
So when does it expire? Do you remember
Which one?
your
The
Security Plus?
Sec
I
Plus?
guess. Yeah, Sec Plus.
September is my anniversary.
Because I'm thinking. So what I think maybe is I'd say renew it this time, and then hopefully by the time you retire from the military, and then you get into a private job, maybe that they'll cover for it in the future.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
after that, maybe just like don't worry about it. Whether or not if they cover it, that'd be great. Then keep it going. If not, then just
Yeah.
like let it lapse.
So,
That's just my thought on it.
yeah, I agree with that too. But here's the thing. So like, I know how elitist this may sound after
The laugh was elitist.
yeah.
It was like it was a
Shannon comes
Django
out,
laugh.
It's like Shannon laugh.
But here's the thing. The hope is that you are employed by a job when you retire to where those costs will be minimal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that is true as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah.
It's like
not
nothing.
gonna, it's
Right.
not going to be a lot to you, right? You could be like, I'll write you the check and then I'll light this $100 bill on fire.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Scrooge
saying?
McDuck.
Like but that's the hope, right? Is that you put all this work in to where it's going to pay off in 23
Right.
months. To where if you got to pay $500 a year or whatever it may be, you'll be like, that's whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Right.
you'll be like, Akeem, not my pocket money.
Oh,
My pocket
so
money.
so speaking of, I don't know if I told you guys. So I bought some Dogecoin. So I'm not an investor. I'm not advocating anybody buy this. It's a meme cryptocurrency, right? It's supposed to be a laughing stock. Unlike Bitcoin, which there's only going to be a finite amount, right? Bitcoin's only going to be 21 million coins ever in existence. Doge, I think they can make like 1 million a month. I don't know. Like,
Right.
but it skyrocketed. So I'm hoping for that trend to keep going. Because then, yeah, I'll be like $100 bills.
Right. Right. I was looking into that. Is it Doge or is it? I thought it was like Doggy. Is it?
Yeah, I
the
see a
play on
So
the-
yeah, it's
Dog.
the
Yeah.
people call it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I know. I don't know what
call
people call it. 'Cause I've never
Doge.
actually
Yeah.
heard somebody
People call
say
it.
it.
People call it. What is doggy? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
spelled
I've heard.
doggy,
I've seen.
but people,
Yeah.
and the
That's-
icon's a dog, right?
Right. Right.
It's like a Pomeranian or whatever.
Doggy. Yeah.
But yes, people call it Doge. That might be part of the joke as well. Like I'm not completely probably into the joke, but I had some
Right.
some. Remember we talked about AMC, how I was invested in AMC. I caught the wave, then it crashed. So I finally broke even. I pulled that money out, and then it was just sitting there in my investment account. I was like, I could pull it back into my bank account, but that's a lot of work. I was like, I'll just put it on something else. Like this is money I've already decided to lose.
Right.
And then a friend of mine, a coworker, was talking about Doge, and I was like, tell me a little bit more. And they was explaining it to me and whatnot. And I was like, it was like 6 cents a coin. I was like, meh, if it hits 12, I'll be happy. That
Right.
bad boy almost hit 50 cents. It was like, so I'm like, So
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna hold on to it. Anecdotal story to go along with it. I had another coworker who bought Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was almost worthless, right? So he bought 10 coins for $10, so $1 a coin. It made it up to $10 a coin. He sold it $100. Each coin now is worth $60,000 and
Right.
growing. So this will never be that. But if this were to hit $1 one day in the next 10 years, I'd be very satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just probably going to hold on to it because it could potentially get there one day. Who knows? And I've already decided to lose the money anyway, so it's not a big deal. But oh boy, who got rid of all his Bitcoin is like, he's not kicking himself because you never know. Like he was like, I pulled 10 times, what I put into it. But he was like, if I had just kept one coin, because he technically had over half what did he have? He had
Half a
over
million?
$500,000 in coins in his possession at one point.
Yep, 600,000 right now. Is it that's 60,000? That's crazy high. That's
60,000 a coin.
wow.
So
Yeah.
that had nothing to do with anything. I just want to throw that in there. I'm about to be rich. It's like I will be a thousandaire.
Right. Yeah, the crypto market is very like volatile, of course. And it's so
Very.
funny that I've done like a little bit of research. I've been kind of like thinking about dabbling here and there, but same time, it's as quickly as it goes up, it can go right down. I see doggies at 27 cents now, so it's like
Yeah,
it's calmed down a
it's
bit.
starting to finally settle. Yeah, it just kept going up and up and up and up.
Right.
I was like, man, this is ridiculous. Like I woke up to because people post rocket ships and moons and stuff. Like the whole timeline was just rocket
hands.
ships. Diamond hands. What is happening?
Yeah, the people out here with these memes.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
No,
hey, at the end of the year, I could sell one Dogecoin and pay for my cert.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I'll say this, like, so, people have been like talking about, these, cryptocurrency, like it's like some analysts, for the most part, it's like cryptocurrency is like nowadays is not being used for what it was originally designed for, which is actually to buy
At
things
all.
digitally.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's become like a way to, you try to hoard your Bitcoin and hopefully it goes up, or your cryptocurrency, and hoping that it goes up so you can sell it. It's become like a I forgot how they describe it. I don't know if it's like an asset versus like I don't know, currency. So people are trying to like hoard it.
That's what Bitcoin's become, right? Like because it's such a finite thing. Like there's millions of coins that people will never be able to recover because they've either lost their ledger, they lost the key to get into their ledger, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll only be a finite amount. So instead of being used as blockchain to do X, Y, and Z, because I think Doge is supposed to be for financial transactions. I think to do bank-to-bank transactions is its purpose, but for whatever reason, people are buying it as an asset.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some of these cryptocurrencies will become standards in the far future. Like I think Bitcoin, because of it being finite, I believe that can be an asset. Like there's only going to be so much gold, right? There only be so many Bitcoins, and people can attach value to anything that they want to. So each Bitcoin could be the equivalent of a really expensive painting or something like that.
Right.
But when it comes to the other ones, I think they're gonna crash, because I had some Tron back a few years ago. Like I bought Tron, and its purpose was supposed to be something to do with copyrights. It was going to be blockchain to copyright like YouTube videos and things like that. I bought it at like 10 cents and immediately crashed to less than a penny. I forgot about it. And then I logged in this week because all the coins are going up, because Coinbase, the exchange where you transfer coins to Bitcoin and money and all that stuff, is listed as a stock as well now, because they're a legitimate exchange, like a NASDAQ or whatever, but for cryptocurrency. So all the coins are going up. So like that coin that I bought for 10 cents is now 15 cents. But at one point, it was 1/10,000th, like so many zeros of a cent. So these things are extremely volatile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, it's just like, as you described it before, like it's going to be like a painting. Like you can buy Bitcoin and be like, oh, I just want to hold on to this. It's like, I got 1257923 Bitcoin,
Right.
whatever, however they identify each coin, or each like percentage of a coin. Cause I think you could buy like percentage of coins, things like that. But
yeah, because I think I have $1.78 a Bitcoin. So it's like so many zeros.
Right.
And then a one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, is it ever gonna get to a point where people are actually using it to like buy things, or people just gonna be buying it to hold it?
So I mean, they were, and it used to be funny. Like people used to get tips for Bitcoin. Like
right, yeah, people
about like, I got no money, but I give you a coin.
Right.
And now
got a
if they had held on to that coin, it's a $60,000 tip.
Right.
So
that's interesting. I'm a little bit skeptical of the cryptocurrency. I mean, I like the idea of it, but I feel like the way people are using it now is like it's not being used how it should be. I don't know if it's ever gonna become like a mainstream thing where like people are just buying it. Besides like just buying to buy stock, like basically like buying stock for the most part. But there's got to be a point where it just kind of levels off. And I think you kind of said this earlier, but it's got to level off, and just so it's becomes like Bitcoin just always worth this, or doggy's always worth this, and this you can just buy it and sell it, trade it, buy a car with it, and then you don't have to worry about like, oh man, it's gonna go up tomorrow or it's gonna go down tomorrow. Now I kind of wasted my money, or I should have saved and sort of held on to it for longer.
Yeah, I always joked about it that it'll become valuable once rich people can amass a lot of it. Like once they have it, then it'll be worth something. Like once, like me being able to buy like 4,000 Doge, that's not acceptable for them. You know what I mean? Like, but once they get through the door and they accumulate enough of it, then I think it'll add value.
Yeah,
And that's when it'll become standard.
Wasn't there just a CEO that became a billionaire off of digital currency? Like he owns one of the clearinghouses or something. Yeah, something crazy. Like
it's probably Coinbase. Like whoever the CEO of Coinbase is probably.
I think it was Coinbase. I think it was Coinbase.
That's why all the coins are surging right now, because they're now an IPO. Because I originally went through Coinbase to get my other, like I have a bunch of altcoins, like fractions of pennies and whatnot, like because I was just experimenting, but you had to do it through Coinbase. There's only so many exchanges that existed. Coinbase is one of the first to be recognized by a bunch of different countries for use. Like some of them are only in China or in other countries, but like Coinbase was like ubiquitous. But yeah, they were listed a week ago, I want to say, and that's when everything was off to the races.
Yeah, he just became a billionaire. He was the CEO and founder of Coinbase, I want to say. But yeah, that dude just got super rich because of his company. I'm like, woo. That could be
the world is getting crazy. It's changing. Like I showed you guys that article about the digital yuan that China's testing right now, where they're actually taking their legitimate currency and digitizing it.
Right.
And I was like, from a cybersecurity point of view, that is crazy. Like because there's a ledger, right? Like right now you can, like, you're not supposed to, but you can do anything. You can pay somebody under the table. You can launder your money. Like the government doesn't necessarily know what you're doing with your money all the time. But with like their central bank has the ledger, so they're going to know every single transaction you make with your digital yuan. That's crazy. So there will be no privacy.
Is that any different? Is that any different to the currency we have now, though? So, like, yes, I may have some money in my pocket or whatever, but for the most part, I log onto a bank that tells me electronically I have this much money, right? That's tracked federally. So
if you use a card though, like if you pull your cash out, you can use it any way you want to. They'll know you pulled out $100, but they won't know what you spent your $100 on. Like now, they'll know every single time you spend a cent. So I don't know. Like when it comes to surveillance, like again, like I like that 1984 type stuff, but I don't want it done to me. I just want to see it happen to other people.
Yeah.
Don't monitor me. I want to be the watcher. All right, I don't want people watching me. But they've already said that the Fed is already looking at potentially doing something similar, because if it takes off, you don't want to be behind. You don't want China to have that digital currency supremacy. So. If it sticks, it's going to be a thing. Next 5 years, you're going to have digital USD.
I thought I read something that would actually potentially cause the cryptocurrency value to go down, because it's going to be like regulated or something like that, or federal regulated. They may regulate the cost of it. They may regulate the price of it, so that you can only be of this value, so that it can actually be used for currency properly. But I don't know. That's just something I thought I heard about that as well. But
yeah, I don't know if the two ever intertwine. I don't know if your digital USD will ever be tied to a Bitcoin or Ethereum or a Litecoin or something like that. Maybe if it goes that right, then yes, cryptocurrency will take a nosedive, because it'll actually be like you said, regulated. But what if it's an alternative? Like instead of using digital USD, you use Bitcoin instead. Like maybe they can live together somehow. I don't know though.
But I don't know how do they make that determination, right? So like if we're being honest, how are we actually doing it now, right? Like the US dollar,
you basically launder you launder your own money through Coinbase. Like so, the way I did it to buy my.
I'm saying just the US dollar itself without.
I see.
Through any type of digital currency like that, right? So like,
yeah,
the U.S. dollar hasn't been backed by gold since the 70s, right? So how are we really determining how much the U.S. dollar is worth? You know what I mean? Like we're
Yeah,
just
that is very true. Yeah.
we'll print up more whenever we need to do it. So how can we go and say, okay, Bitcoin, now you're worth this much, right? Like how can you bring that down when you don't have a determining factor for the U.S. dollar and how it's measured or what it's measured against? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So like I think what works in Bitcoin's favor, again, I'm not uh, completely in the know of how it works, but when I found out that it was finite and that there will only be 21 million, and that at our current compute speed and the way people are farming, you won't get to the last coin for another 120 years, is what they estimate. Like that's not factoring in quantum computing whenever that hits the scene. But like I can see that that can be backed by, there's only a certain amount. So whenever we put the value on those, then that makes sense to me. But like a Doge where you could just continuously make them, they kind of overinflate themselves. So I don't know how that's going to work. Like that part, I have no clue. Like those that are finite, I think will have value. I think something like a Doge or there's another one. Like I have a bunch of weird altcoins because so some of the coins I bought, like Tron pays dividends in other coins. So now when I go into my wallet, I see I have like 5 different coins. I'm just like, I don't even know what these are. I don't even know what that does. So I have to look into them. Like, what is the purpose of this coin? What is this supposed to do? Like, oh, this one is for copyrights. This one is for purchasing pizza or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, it's still the Wild Wild West. So who's to say who's gonna win out?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's yeah. I'm I'm thinking about dabbling here and there, but at the same time, I think it's that they call it the FOMO, the fear of missing out. But
Yeah.
especially when like doggy's so cheap. But like you mentioned, I think Bitcoin has the higher probability of continuing to rise as it's finite, like you mentioned. Doggy, people are kind of like, I guess they can mine it as much as they want. They can make $1 billion more where that came from. So it may it may kind of trail off in the future. But like you said, you got at 10 cents or 5 cents, 6 cents. So now you can like just hold on to it and see what happens. I'm sure it's not gonna. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure that it'll stay where it's at least for a little bit before it's kind of drops off. I think what I've heard is that people can. Some of the analysts are saying that using Dogecoin, you can make like some short gains or like some, if you want to do some quick, if you can like predict the market, like as
right,
as easy as that is, predict the market on it, you can make some quick money. But they say like for the long run, Dogecoin is probably not the best. They say that Bitcoin is probably a better investment for the long run in that regards. But,
yeah. But it's already it's above me now. Like
yeah,
I didn't get in. I didn't get in when I was overseas the last time because it was like $6,000 a coin for Bitcoin. I was like,
yeah. I know.
That's not for me. That's not for me. I'm gonna go get this Tron. I think when I got it was like 10 cent.
Right.
Go get this Tron over here. Hope for the best. But yeah, it's just interesting. Like things are changing. I think we'll have even more employment once we start to go to digital currency. Like I don't even understand how that's going to work. So
yeah, I was going to say that's a good point too. You got to secure that stuff.
Yeah,
it does get
hacked. Need a CPA and SSP. I don't know.
Like,
there's gonna be totally new fields in cybersecurity once we start heading that direction. So that's good.
I'm a CISP sipper.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. Like it's crazy. It's crazy out there. And this conversation was crazy. We ran the full gamut. We did it.
That's right. Yeah.
So
for sure.
With that being said, you guys have anything else? You got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about?
I'm good.
I can't think of anything clever right now.
Well, shout out to my co-host for putting up with me. This is an extra long weekly rundown this week. I was trying to give him back more time in the week. I took even more time somehow. So there we go. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, please hit up our website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. Please join the Facebook group where we talk about stuff like this on a regular. If you want to reach out to me personally, ask a question or something like that, leave a comment. You can hit me up on Twitter, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, IG, and TikTok at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. And LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. You guys have a good week. Peace.
Take care.